Hi, I'm Allison of Bebop and Knit, and this is my weekly podcast where I talk to you a little bit about jazz and knitting and what's inspiring me and what's inspiring my knitwear. Um, Sorry about my very pink hands. I took my toddler to an art class and a pen marker exploded on me. So yeah, I've got some pretty fun pink for the next few days probably. But anyways, so tonight's episode is going to be all about my newest design, which released today, called the Layers Cowl. It comes in technically 4 sizes, one cowl for each of the 4 widely used yarn weights. 2 are in the original, the Layers Cowl, and the other 2 are in the Layers Cowl pint size, which is for toddlers and children. But honestly, if you just like a smaller cowl that fits, more snug on your neck, pint size is for you. So, a little bit about this. So I have been a huge fan of Julian Lage, who's a jazz guitarist and composer. Really just a guitarist, let's say that, because he is widely versed in multiple genres. I just know him mostly from jazz. But I discovered him when I went to Sonoma State University for my bachelor's degree, because he had studied there obviously for a few years before me, and a lot younger than me, because he was a child prodigy from Santa Rosa, California, which is pretty close to where I grew up. And anyways, his latest album, well, the latest EP, I guess, it's a smaller work. It's called The Layers, and I first heard the single This World, which inspired my shawl, which released in June. And then his second release before the full EP came out this year, and I believe it was May, but I could be wrong about that. It was called The Layers, and I heard this and I was just like, oh my god, I have to make something. And so because I had loved these 2 pieces that he had written, and I had kind of started to begin the makings of designing 2 visual representations of his works, I decided, well, why not wait for the whole album to come out and decide if I want to do a full collection. And luckily enough, his album is quite incredible. And so, yeah, I'm happy to announce that I will be designing a garment or accessory for each of the tracks on his album. So I'm really excited. I just started the next design, drawing it out and writing it out. And that should come out probably next year, which will be really fun. So, but in the meantime, I've got the Layers Cowl, which will be the second in the collection, as This World shawl was the first. So yeah, for a little bit more background on Julian Lage, he, like I said, was a child prodigy. I mean, he was playing with Carlos Santana at the age of 8, and has played with so many incredible jazz musicians, Pat Metheny, Taylor Ikesty, just you name it, he's probably played with them. And I've pretty much loved every single album he's put out. I think that he's just really cutting edge in his creativity. He draws from so many different art forms and genres, and just really is an excellent example of an improviser and musician and composer. So I'm just so excited to be able to share with you his work by bringing you knitwear that's inspired by it. So I highly recommend checking out that entire album. Again, The Layers. It's an EP, and something that's kind of cool is that it is the sister album to the album called A View with a Room. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I probably should have written it down. But that album is also incredible. And just so you know, I am designing a sweater that's inspired by one of the tracks on that album, and it will be out in November, and I'll be calling for testers. Probably in September. I'll have to check my calendar, but yeah, September. So if you've been waiting for one of my designs to finally become a sweater, I'm coming at you. It's really, really fun. And I think that if you have a chance to check out both albums, View with a Room and the Layers, you'll really see that they really are sisters. There are so many styles and themes and motifs that are just prevalent in both. Like he knocked those two albums out of the park. So, all right, on to some knitwear now. So the Layers Cowl, again, comes in 4 different yarn weights, 2 of which are featuring Spincycle's yarn. I was super, super fortunate to get to use their Dream State and Trine for my worsted weight version, which is the cozy Layers Cowl, and their dyed in the wool for my light Layers Cowl. And I'm just like, I'm obsessed with Spincycle. Obviously, if you've seen any of my designs, I've used them multiple times, but this one was like, it's Spincycle. So here's the light Layers Cowl. I've been wearing this a lot, so I apologize that it's not going to be super flat. It's kind of flimsy. I'll show it to you on my neck. So it's nice and loose and floppy and just the perfect like accessory for a summer evening stroll or trip to the beach where it's kind of warm, but it's not too warm, right? There's a nice little breeze that kind of keeps your neck a little bit too chill for comfort. And so that's what I pictured for this one. And it does not disappoint. I wear it all the time, even on evenings that it's blustery and 80 degrees. Let's just be real. So, yeah, so this is the light layers. And some of the cool little features of it are this, let's see if I'll get it to focus, this 2-color I-cord edge. Don't focus on my face. There we go. This I-cord edge, it's a 2-stitch I-cord edge, so it's really thin and delicate, but it goes all the way around the edge of the cowl. And then I seam it. I don't know if you can see. I seam it with this cool 3 needle bind off, and so you get the 2 oops, oh my gosh, the 2-color I-cord edge along with that solid 3 needle bind off going vertical against the horizontal lines coming at it. So yeah, this it changes colors in the back halfway through. It's 2-color fisherman's rib. All of the designs that will be going into the Layers collection will feature 2-color or single-color fisherman's rib because it is my favorite. It is very similar to brioche, but I find it a lot easier. Not everybody thinks that, but for me, I get really stressed when I'm doing brioche. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta follow all these yarn overs and make sure I don't drop anything, and knitting below and purling below just seems a lot less intimidating to me. I love to brioche, don't get me wrong, but not as much as 2-color fisherman's rib or fisherman's rib. So that's the light layers. Here's my favorite. Even though I don't play favorites, this is my favorite. This is the cozy. I'm using Dream State Wololo and Trine 90 degrees. And it's just, I just love how the color changes from this like pink to orange to brown to purple to blue. Oh my gosh, can't get enough of it. So this is the cozy version, so that worsted weight, and it's delightful. I just wore it to the Sierras where it wasn't as cold as we were expecting, but it was pretty chilly. And this was the only thing that honestly kept me warm, even slightly. So this is the worsted weight version. Both of those are in the Layers Cowl. It's just titled the Layers Cowl pattern. For the smaller sizes, you'll need to get the Layers Cowl pint sized, which was inspired by one of my testers. Her daughter wanted to steal her cowl, and my little kiddo, he hunts for the cowls. He'll literally search all through the office, which is doubling as homeschool if you can't tell. And yeah, he'll search and find it. And literally, doesn't matter if I put it in totes, bags, he finds it. It's amazing. So, and he just loved it so much that I was, okay, I have to make one that fits him. And so that is what I did. I'll show you the cozy version first, because this one matches his shark teeth hat, which came out in June as well for his birthday. It uses the same colors, the knitted wit orange. It's called Yams, I believe. It's a DK weight. And because I had the sport weight, I used Waifu Yarns. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Sporty Squish or Squishy Sport. Wow, I really should have done my homework and looked these up. And then it's called Teal Good, Darn Good Teal Good. I have to check my pattern. I apologize if I'm totally butchering that, but it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's UV reactive, and it's so cool. So yeah, this is the cozy layers, and it's perfect. If you like a smaller cowl, it's just really light and nice around your neck, and it's just kind of like a tiny little hug. All right. And then this was kind of requested by my testers as well, was a striped version. I'm going to do another one because it was so much fun. But this is using 3 colors. So I did 6 stripes, and 6 color changes. We'll say 6 color changes. They're more like blocks rather than stripes. But they're all 4 inches, 4-inch blocks, right? And I absolutely love how this one turned out. It kind of looks quilted. I don't know. I really, really love it. But my kiddo picked the colors that he wanted. As of this year, purple is his favorite color. That will probably change next week. But as of right now, it is purple. And the lovely ladies at For Yarn's Sake over in Beaverton, Oregon, highly recommend that shop. Recommended this beautiful purple to me. It's from Camp Color, which I've since heard is possibly not doing yarn anymore, but I haven't checked. Even though I really loved this purple. So do your homework, see if that's still out there. Leave a comment below if it is, because I would really love to get more yarn. But anyways, so yeah, that's the purple, the beautiful gray, and it's got little specks of like peach and blue. You probably can't tell at all from the camera and at night, because jazz happens at night. Is from my favorite shop in Petaluma, California, Fiber Circle Studio. I'm obsessed with their yarn. I make as much as I can with their yarn because it's just so beautiful. And this is no exception. This is their Scrumptious Sock. And it's the colorway is Drake's Bay. So that's the gray. And then the lovely tealish color is from Barker's Wool. It's their Fern line. So yeah, this is the light layers pint sized. And it's just so fun. I just really love it. I might steal it if my son decides that he doesn't like purple anymore. So yeah, this is what I've got to show you this week. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out Julian Lage, any and all of his albums, but especially his latest 2, A View with the Room and The Layers. And pick up your Layers Cowl and put that album on, and hopefully you're as inspired as I was when I heard it as you're knitting. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Julian Lage directly off of his website. It's a really fun read. His about section kind of about like how his first album as a leader went with Blue Note Records. But anyways, this is the quote, and it's abbreviated a little bit, but just for sake of shortness. But here it is. We've inherited this art, and all we can really do is present it with love and care and honesty. He goes on to say, there's a much bigger vision that we're all taking part in and celebrating. That's a beautiful thing. And I totally agree. I think that jazz, knitting, art, writing a book, right? Any of those sorts of art forms, any art of any kind is all about, you know, love and care and honesty, and how we present that to the world is so important. And it's not just about improvising, right? We're all part of this crazy big world of makers and believers and dreamers, right? And I think that's what he's really talking about, is it's not just about jazz, it's about life, it's about everything, right? So I hope that his words kind of stick with you and help you have a lovely, lovely Friday tomorrow morning, hopefully when you're watching this. Yeah, because this is the jazz hour. It's nighttime, even though it's still light out because, you know, it's summer. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoy and tune in again next week to hear about Roxy Koss. So, all right. I'll leave you with that quote from Julian Lage, and happy knitting, folks, and happy jazzing. All right. Good night.